Hey there, Cancer. Welcome to your reading for this week. This week, you have the Tree and the Woman here. And I'm using the Gilded Little Lenormand. This combination can have to do with your health, so, I would definitely keep an eye on your health. Make sure you're staying healthy at this time. The tree can represent growth. You have another tree, even though this says family inheritance on it, but the tree can also represent like growth or creating more abundance in your life just in general. So, like I said, not necessarily a bad thing, but I would definitely keep an eye on your health. You have the King of Pentacles, the Ace of Pentacles, and the Five of Swords. The King, I get a feeling of like playing it too safe here, which I feel like I've said to you 100 times, maybe not, but the King of Pentacles is not necessarily a bad card or anything. But, of course, he can represent wealth or building wealth or stability, but I feel like there is a need to not play it too safe, like especially in work or business with the King of Pentacles. That's just the feeling I get off of the card. He's very foundational, right? The King of Pentacles to me is like a foundational energy or like a card of building a solid foundation or having a solid foundation. And then we go down to the Tower. We have the Death card to the Tower, which I'm not too worried about, but, the Tower always gets reduced down to its foundation and then we always rebuild the Tower back stronger. That's the whole point of the Tower. So, I get this foundational energy here, and I feel like it would be a good time for you to take bigger risks, especially in business or work. And there are very specific risks that we should be taking during Pluto in Aquarius, one of them being the risk of getting attention or the risk of standing out. So like speaking up at work, having an opinion in your business, or the risk of doing something to stand out. And we have the Sun right here. So the Sun is all about attention, standing out. It's a very good card, but it kind of says you need to get attention. So I would say, in work or business, that there could be opportunities for you to grow with the Ace of Pentacles here, but you need to make sure that you're getting the proper attention to be able to grow or to be able to see progress. The Ace of Pentacles can represent a big opportunity coming in for you, of course. I always say that the Ace of Pentacles is a card of needing to make something grow. There's a garden right here, and so we have to, water it, feed it, fertilize it, give it sunlight, which you have the sun here to get this opportunity to turn into something. So it's almost like you have an opportunity in front of you. I feel like this is about you taking a risk on an opportunity, really, because you even have the Five of Swords in this row. The Five of Swords can represent, separation, breakup, blah, 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 but the Five of Swords really is a card of taking a risk. So I feel you need to take the risk on an opportunity in this first row. That could be coming in for you. And yeah, it's probably going to change your life because we go down to the Tower. But as I always say, the Tower is not a bad thing. Sometimes we need a little bit of a shakeup. Sometimes we need to enter into a new environment or see reality. The whole point of the Tower is it's about seeing reality for how it actually is. So, I think that it could be a good time for you to, take a risk on like any new opportunities, or if there is an opportunity in front of you, take a risk. With the King of Pentacles, you have the Hanged Man. I feel like you've already been presented the opportunity, or you already see it with the Hanged Man. The Hanged Man has put himself in Hanged Man mode, and he's done this so that he can gain enlightenment. And we have the Sun in this reading, which is enlightenment. So it's almost like you have an opportunity before you. Definitely could be in work or business. If it's not work or business, it's something that has to do with growth, like personal growth, or, growing your strength in your emotions with the King of Cups here. Could be, literally anything. I feel that this is an opportunity that you see, or it's something that's been presented to you for sure. With the Ace of Pentacles, you have the Lovers. Could be a love opportunity for some of you. Just take it how it resonates. The Lovers can, of course, represent love, but it can also say that you have a choice to make. I always say pick the new path with the Lovers. Usually, not always, but usually the new path is the correct path. So if you're choosing between like 2 jobs or 2 business ideas, I would pick the thing that you haven't done yet or the new thing, because usually that's what is best. If you are, there is a tiny bit of love here, so if you are attracting love, then it definitely could be a very strong connection. I always look at the Lovers as a divinely guided connection. This is your higher self, angel above these 2 people, so it could be a really good connection. With the Five of Swords, you have the Knight of Wands here. The Knight of Wands is, I personally, I know some people read the Knight of Wands as inconsistent energy and stuff, but I don't really consider him to be that bad of a card. But what I will say is that he can be a little bit scattered sometimes or inconsistent. And so, If you are, working on any new ideas or any new opportunities, I would come up with some way of making sure that you are staying consistent with the work that you're doing on whatever it is, so I would just stay consistent here. Next, in the area of what's coming in for you, you have this family and heritage card. It says it's time to get back in touch with your loved ones you have been away from. You have this enchanted illusion card. It says, see through the veil of illusion and have the courage to see things as they really are. Tower. The tower, the reason those people are having a tower moment is because they are not seeing things clearly. They are stuck inside the tower, and they're having a tower moment because they've been ignoring reality, and now they're being brought back down to reality. Now, again, I don't think the tower is really that bad because we have the sun, we have the justice card right above it, and then we have the tower. And, again, the sun kind of makes the whole entire reading a little bit more positive. One thing I will say is I feel that you definitely probably are seeing through an illusion, and we will talk about that with the death card. You have the devil. You've been getting the devil with me, I think, a lot in the past couple readings. The devil is Capricorn, and so Capricorn is your opposite sign sometimes. I feel that opposite signs show up in readings to tell you to work with your opposite sign's energy. So it might be a time for you to go learn about Capricorn energy and to work with it. I believe we should be doing that anyway. That is the whole point of astrology, is that we should probably be working with the energy of our opposite sign and kind of creating balance between, whatever our sun sign is and whatever our opposite sign is. So I think that would be a good idea with the devil showing up here. I feel intuitively that this has to do with follow-through, and so I feel that there's something that you need to follow through on. And this is probably something like a new opportunity that you are working on. You have the death card again. The death card has the two pillars from the moon right here, and the sun is coming up between those two pillars. And then we go up to the sun from the death card. So the moon can be confusion, fantasies, illusions. And so I feel you are the death card is saying you are seeing through some sort of illusion. The king is dead on the death card, and what this represents is that even kings die. Like even things that we think last forever, sometimes they don't. And it kind of represents needing to understand that, right? But I feel that energy here. Like someone's crown is falling here. We have we go down to the tower and the crown is falling off of the tower. Now, this doesn't have to be a person. This could just be your situational life, or, it could be a job that you work for. It's almost like the crown is falling off of something because the king is dead on the death card. So with the death card, the illusion cards, the fact that the death card is kind of tied to the moon in some ways, I feel that during this time it's like, yeah, you could be having a tower moment where you are seeing through an illusion and you're getting to the truth. So again, is it really that bad of a thing? I would say no. Could be uncomfortable because, you could be realizing the truth about like a boss or your job or your career. But that will allow you to make change. You have the King of Cups here. King of Cups is about following your emotions. He has very deep emotions. And, the story of this card is that he has explored his emotions to a very deep level and he is perfectly fine. He's sitting in choppy waters on the card. So, there's a little bit of chaos going on around him, but again, he is in control of his emotions. So I think that as long as you control your emotions, you will be fine. With the devil, you have two cards here. The Seven of Wands and the Two of Cups. If you want love, not really, it's like, I don't know, as usual, Cancer, it's like kind of a love reading, but kind of not. And, if you want love, I feel like you need to have appropriate boundaries. I also feel I'm pretty sure that I've said to you in the past that you need to be careful of past people interrupting something new. So if you are getting into a new connection, I would make sure that you have, put boundaries up or blocked a past person or whatever. We have the devil, you know what I mean. So I would definitely say if you're wanting to meet someone new, make sure someone old doesn't ruin it. With the death card, you have the Page of Wands. Page of Wands is about going on an adventure. And so I feel that there could be a really good adventure coming in for you, or you could be going on adventures. The Page of Wands is also about following your enthusiasm. And so, going up to the sun, I feel that your enthusiasm, which is kind of an emotion, is guiding you towards bigger and better things. With the King of Cups, what do you know? You have the sun. So the sun I look at as a spotlight in the tarot, where the sun shines a light on something that we need to pay attention to. This does not have to be a person, although it could be. With the King of Cups, this could be an opportunity. It could be something that you have an emotional connection to. Sometimes I feel when this happens like we get the sun clarifying, and then we have the sun here that you can think of this row as like us taking a magnifying glass to this right here. So it's almost like this row is zooming in on this situation right here, if that makes sense. And that's kind of what I feel. So let's zoom in here a little bit, Cancer. You have this message in a bottle card and this time for a nap card. I don't know, I feel like everybody should be taking naps, right? Why not recharge your batteries? We've had about 6 billion retrogrades. Every planet and its mother has gone retrograde, and, we still have Mars retrograde. Mars will be going direct soon, but it will still be in the shadow for a while. We will also have Venus going retrograde, and right at the end of the Venus retrograde, Mercury goes retrograde. I think everybody needs a nap, so take a nap if you need one. The message in a bottle card, I feel like there could be important communication coming in for you. You have the Sun Justice card and the Tower again. We're zooming into the King of Cups, and the Sun from the last row is what I feel here. Again, the sun shines a light on things that are important. I kind of get this energy of needing to not take a situation too seriously. Like if you're getting like a work opportunity or a business opportunity with the Ace of Pentacles, I feel if you put too much pressure on yourself, you're just probably not going to do it. So I would look at things like, don't look at things as life or death, right? Sometimes I feel that's what we need to do to be successful, is if we put too much pressure on things, we just don't get them done. So that's like the feeling I get off of the sun. You also have the Justice card. If you are fearing that something will cause a problem, again, when we have those moments, I've done it a million times in my life where it's like I put too much pressure on something like needing to work out or needing something to go a certain way. And nothing ever works when I do that. You cannot make good decisions from that place. I'm convinced, right? So I have, really worked really hard for many years on making sure that I'm not putting too much pressure on things needing to work in love, in money, in business, in spirituality, my health, everything, right? And so I think a better way to live would be cause and effect. Just pay attention to what's working, pay attention to what's not working, and then you won't make big mistakes. I think that the reason we put that much pressure on ourselves is because we're afraid of making mistakes. But really, the Justice card says take small steps, see what works, see what doesn't. And if all you're doing is taking small steps, then you won't get hurt. Because if you take a small step and nothing happens, then you either make a change, right, and you take a step that does work, or you decide to leave the situation and then you don't get hurt. So that's how I would be operating with the Justice card. You have the Tower. I feel like there's actually a surprise coming in for you, like a pleasant surprise. We have the Sun twice near the Tower, so again, the Tower is not always a bad card. I think the Tower gets a bad rap in the first place. But the Tower could be a pleasant surprise, or you could just be surprised by an outcome that's coming in for you. The other thing is that I feel like I've been saying to you for the past couple weeks, Cancer, that there is a big change coming in for you. It seems to me like you could be making a decision that really does change the direction of your life. So anytime we make a change that changes the direction of our life, it causes a big change in our life, plain and simple. And the Tower is just a big change. So this could be like you, getting into a relationship. That's a big change. Like if you meet a person and you end up marrying that person in the future, then absolutely it could change the direction of your life. If you, have a job but you hate it, and maybe it was your dream job at one point, but now you're deciding to start a business, that is going to be a big change. Really, I feel ultimately that this has to do with getting the truth. I kept getting the message about the king, being dead on the death card. The crown is falling off the top of the Tower. It's almost like something's mask is coming off, but I don't think that's completely accurate. It's almost like you are seeing the truth of something that you looked up to or something, It's just popping into my head. With the Sun card, you have the Magician. The Magician, we need to keep our vibration high with the Magician to attract what we want. So you could be attracting something new into your life, or you could be manifesting dreams, even with the Sun card. Very good. With the Justice card, you have the Four of Wands. It's funny that I said love, marriage. It definitely was popping into my head. I said, obviously if you get married, that's going to change your life. And, obviously this isn't going to happen today. But this could be you meeting a person that leads to marriage in the future. Could be a surprise for sure. The Four of Wands is also a card of freedom. And with the Four of Wands, we have to be committed to whatever it is we're trying to accomplish. So, Outside of love, I always look at the Four of Wands as committing to whatever you're trying to accomplish. With the Tower here, you have the Seven of Cups. Seven of Cups can be confusion, especially with the Tower. It's like he is looking at all the good things and bad things that could happen if he went through with something, but he really needs to find out. Like, he can't just he can, but nothing will happen in his life if he just keeps dreaming about something. So I think you you have no cards of truth here, but I feel like you need to get the truth of a situation. If it's a business idea, I feel like you need to find out if you can actually do it or not. If it's love, I feel like you need to find out if it's going to work or not. We can't have any of this half in, half out type of energy is what I feel off the reading. And so there you go. Next, in the area of the good stuff, you have this jealousy and gossip card. You also have the Ship. Says direction and journey on it, definitely a new journey. Knight of Wands, Page of Wands, would you be you going on a new adventure? For the jealousy and gossip thing, this would be a good thing. It's coming up in the good stuff. So if you've had issues with people who have been jealous or, gossiping about you, that could be being cleared up with, showing up in the good stuff. You have the Eight of Cups, Nine of Wands, and the Page of Swords. Eight of Cups is about walking away from things that no longer serve you. I feel like you are making a choice to walk away, from things that have kept you stuck. The thing about the King of Pentacles, your first card, is that he is the card of convention, just, doing the same thing over and over and over again. And so the Eight of Cups in the good stuff would say you probably want more variety. Same thing with the Seven of Cups. Seven of Cups is definitely a card that says variety is the spice of life. So you might be just looking for new experiences, or you might be looking to, kind of just have adventures in life. And of course, that's a good thing. You have the Nine of Wands. Nine of Wands is the wounded warrior, but in the area of the good stuff, it would say you are not giving up on something that you want to accomplish. You are going to keep trying. So again, definitely very good. You have the Page of Swords. Page of Swords is a card of curiosity, and in the good stuff, it can say that you need to follow your curiosity. So with the Sun, again, the Sun captures our attention. So we have to pay attention to our attention with the Sun. And whatever you are interested in, I would learn about it, or I would be curious about it, or I would ask a lot of questions with the Page of Swords and see what happens. With the Eight of Cups, you have the Temperance card. Temperance is normally patience. In the area of the good stuff, it can represent alchemy, like turning one thing into another. So, again, this could really be a turnaround reading. Even with the Tower can create a turnaround because those people are stepping into reality. They've been ignoring reality. So whenever you step into reality, obviously you can improve your situation. And that's kind of the energy I get off of the Temperance card. With the Nine of Wands, you have the Ace of Wands. He is holding on to one wand. The Ace of Wands is out with the old, in with the new. This castle back here is meant to look like it's crumbling. So the Ace of Wands I always look at as like a passionate new beginning or a passionate new opportunity. And there definitely could be a good opportunity coming in here. With the Page of Swords, you have the Five of Swords. A risk that you have to take. We talked about it. The Five of Swords in the good stuff is literally my combination of taking a risk or needing to put yourself out there and take some sort of risk in your life. So that is definitely what I would be doing with that card. You have this February card. We're in this time period right now, and you have this Wreath card. It says sorrow over a loss. With the Tower, this could be a loss that you need to release, like a past loss. And this could be something that happened to you years ago. I definitely feel that with the Tower and the Nine of Wands, it's like sometimes if we're hurt in love or business, it can take a lot for us to get motivated to take action on something again because we just remember the pain. And I feel that this reading is definitely encouraging you to release some past pain. Even those first two cards, the Woman and the Tree, they represent that combination, kind of represents your health, but it could represent just healing from something. You have this Bow. It says you are highly thought of. Sun, Sun is just a very good card. It makes the whole entire reading more positive. But, it's definitely a good card for, people seeing you in a good light or being highly thought of, which is great. You have this Boot card. It says increase your efforts if you want to achieve your goals. Yeah, I think we are in a good time of increasing our efforts. One thing I will say is I don't think we're in a time of hard work, like we shouldn't be just thinking and, again, it's confusing because that does not mean that you don't have to work hard. It just means that we have to be efficient sometimes. Efficiency is hard work, so, I know that sounds contradictory, but really it isn't. It blows my mind that people think it is. It's like life is not black and white, there's shades of gray. There are different things that we have to do at times. I feel like I shouldn't have to explain this, but I do. So again, our first thought should not be, how can I work hard at this goal? Our first thought should be, how can I be as efficient as possible to accomplish this goal? That might include a little bit of hard work, but, again, there's a big difference. So definitely something I would pay attention to. You have this bird flying. Says news is on the way. Then we see, you have this message in a bottle card which can represent communication or news. So if you're waiting for, news or communication on something really good. You have this horse card. Says short journey on it. We have the Knight of Wands and the Page of Wands. We also had the ship card which said direction and journey on it. And, I think that's maybe what Cancer doesn't realize is that I feel like there is a big journey that is coming in for you that is probably going to change the direction of your life. Again, that the King being dead on the Death card, it's like I think sometimes we can build a castle in our brain where we think my life is going to go this way. The Tower is like a backhand to your face. No, it's not. But sometimes that is a good thing. So I think that's what's going on here. It's like, actually, your life probably is going to be better than you thought, but you have to kind of accept reality with the Tower. So interesting. It looks good. Thank you for being here and definitely enjoy your week.